We are almost there. So the next topic I'm going to talk about, enough with the lungus and whatever. I hope you have gotten some facts. If you're not clear, you can always type your question in the comment section. I actually take my time to do a research about all these things, and I prepare the entire PowerPoint. So it's not that they're just coming from my head. I'm actually doing some reading and connecting, also expanding on the PowerPoint presentation, so you can actually trust what I'm saying. All right. I seriously put in research, and I make sure that what I'm saying when I come live is something that is verified. All right. Thank you. So the next topic I'm going to talk about is 24-hour economy. So let's go back. 10 years ago, okay, let's just say before 10 years ago, okay. So if today is 2026, 10 years ago would have been 2014, okay. So in 2014, and all the years going backward, Zambia was actually running on what is called partial 24-hour economy. And I think in some sectors it continued, because then what that means is that public transport and truck drivers were actually moving in the night, okay, before 2014. But what started happening is that we used to have a lot of accidents because of visibility at night is actually reduced, and the people used to sleep because God made the night just the night so that humans can sleep and then prepare for tomorrow. But a lot of accidents used to happen, and so the government decided, no, we are going to ban. Okay, that was PF government in 2014. They actually lifted they clamped down. Okay, they banned the traveling of buses, public transport, which is PSV, or passenger service vehicles were banned from traveling at night because of accidents, and trucks were banned from traveling at night. Okay, so if some of you know that each time you moved in the night, you were questioned a lot by the traffics in the different points across the roads in Zambia. But then, fast forward, okay, you should know that by banning 24-hour movement of trucks and passenger bus drivers, the economy started losing a lot, because for economy to function well, some things need to move at night to actually reduce congestion and also time of travel through Lusaka city. Okay, so the congestion project was not enough to actually stop this. So what needed to be done is actually to bring back 24-hour economy, so that our economy can actually benefit both during the day and at night times. All right. So last week, okay. Last week, there were some few weeks ago, there were proposed that we reinstate the 24-hour economy. And some 3 days ago, the minister, Mr. Tayari, Minister of Transport and Communications, came back to Parliament and signed an SI 27 of 2026, okay, which actually lifted the ban to actually allow the 24-hour economy in the form that the PSV, or passenger service vehicles, and trucks would be allowed to move again in the night, okay, which was banned 10 years ago. So the powers he used is actually found in the Constitution, Article 233, the Constitution of Zambia of Roads and Transport. Okay, that's where this power is found, and it's vested into the Minister of Transport. So he signed an SI 27 26 allowing the movement of buses and trucks during the night. What does it mean? It means now that there will be buses, for example, kupundira kumazuro, maybe 22 hours or 20 or 19, mukwela, they will be going everywhere. Okay, Mulenina, okay, it will be going to Chipata, they will be going to Kabwe in the night. Okay, that's what it means. Now it is the law that they are allowed to move. So buses will start off around 19. Those of you who don't want to travel during the day, I think you use the night time. And then the marketeers, those who sell vegetables and other different merchandise, it's good to go to the order around 19 hours, so that tomorrow morning you have got fresh vegetables at your shop. Don't go to do some order in the morning. There will be congestion, and the customer at home can't wait. They'll go to another customer. So this is going to help those small SMEs actually to improve their businesses and the quality of product they bring to the market, because if it's vegetables, those vegetables will be fresh. So kudos to the government. This one I give them 9 out of 10. The reason for 9 out of 10 is because we're still grappling with infrastructure development. We are still improving. And the reason why the minister gave to opening this ban, to lifting it, is that there will be some improvement, which you have seen, I'm sure. There's good lighting now. I think road shading, because the road shading has reduced, so there's good lighting, there's good roads, which some of them PF built, some of them UPN is finishing. And there's also a lot of the congestion projects which are happening. So now trucks no longer have to go through the Lusaka city. They actually pass through 6 miles there, all the way up to Chilanga. Yeah, somewhere there. Okay, so it's actually a good move. I think there's a lot of improvement in terms of safety and some tracking. So the government said they're going to rely on the ICT to provide them with the safety measures and monitoring of movement of this 24-hour economy. Otherwise, 24-hour economy in other means it was already there. Like there are some clubs and there are some hospitals, some TV stations, some drugstores, some beer halls. They were operating 24/7. So this is just an enhancement which is going to actually really help the economy, not enhance, enhancement. Hey, enhancement, yes. So they just enhanced the economy, or just to improve on whatever existed before, which I think is a very good and positive thing to do. All right. So some projects which are running up recently, the government, Ms. HH, launched another 250 megawatts of solar in Chongwe, and it's coming up. I think there's some improvement in the electricity. Hopefully, we don't see load shedding in the coming after elections, because we know that this power you're enjoying now might be because of elections. So when elections passes, the dollar and the power, these two, might be difficult to actually see. So as you go to vote, make sure that you vote based on a proper manifesto and proper plan on how these things are going to be taken care of, instead of just the 10-point plan which has not worked. All right. So another problem, the secretary to the treasury says the revenue for the first quarter, of 2026, has fallen below by 1.7 billion kwacha, which simply means they have not collected enough for the first quarter of 2026. That's what the secretary to treasury has said. This simply means that the government is going to borrow more. Despite of the UPN increasing most of taxes, they have failed to actually collect up to 1.7 billion target. Something is wrong. Okay, so the economy has no money because they have done what is called a contractionary monetary policy. What it does is that it removes excess kwacha in the system and introduces some dollars, I think, to see this fake kenning of US dollar against kwacha, which we might not see in the next 6 to 7 months after elections. So bring back the quarters in the economy. Maybe people will pay more tax. So government, you can't be sleeping. Make sure you do things which will earn you more tax by providing serious incentives to citizens and SMEs who are doing most businesses. Yeah. So in the trade, Africa, in terms of trade, in Africa, the strategies has told the African community to focus more in intra-trade, okay, before they look outside. Yes, we need to start trading more with our fellow Africans before we actually look at China, other countries, Asia, America, and Europe, because this is going to help us, and we are more nearer to each other, so it costs less to actually export to Zambia, export to Malawi, export to Angola, than exporting to China or any other country. So intra-trade, it simply means trading within your vicinity or your locality or your location, you might call it. So when I was doing my research, my last paper in my 5th year at the university, I actually did what is called tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. So this was looking at what industry in intra-trade, what industry within the neighbors and international community. So I'm actually more vested in terms of knowledge when it comes to trade and intra-trade. Okay, so I know what this means actually. It is true, Africans really need to start trading with each other more than they are relying on another country. After all, we all use dollars to export and import. So come on, trade with us. We'll also give you enough. Yeah, okay. So 24-hour economy, intra-trade, and blah, 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 blah. This is where I end. If there's more questions, you can actually inbox me or you can type it in the comment section. Okay, I am on my last topic. It's been a long night. Thank you very much for those who have stayed around. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate you. I hopefully you learned something tonight. Okay. So my last topic is about the stock market Zambia, which is LUSE. LUSE simply stands for Lusaka Stock Exchange. Okay. So I've defined it before in my previous live videos or podcast. I just said LUSE is actually a department, okay, which facilitates the listing of shares by either public or private companies to the public. Okay, so they actually facilitate the listing of shares, or they list companies. Okay, so if companies, this means that if a company wants to go public, they go through LUSE. LUSE is like a motherboard which allows, which assesses, and which says, recommends that now you can go public. Yeah, so LUSE simply is a stock market of Zambia. Okay, like it says Lusaka Stock Exchange. Yes, it says Lusaka, but it's actually for Zambia, because I think we only have one stock exchange market in Zambia, which is Lusaka Stock Exchange market. Okay, but in America they might have more, in Europe they might have more, but in Zambia we only have one. Okay, so far we've got about 24 listed companies which are listed publicly. So any company which is listed there, whether private or public, it is public, because it allows the members of a public to actually come and buy shares and sell. And today's talk, I wanted it to actually base on the LUSE app. So now this is the app which when you download, it's just a straightforward app. You download, you log in, and then it will show you what to do next. It's an app you can use to actually purchase and sell shares, or at the same time. All right. If you open it, you actually see the listed companies there. Then you can choose from there. Those companies will show prices, and they'll show how much people are demanding shares in that company, and ABCD. Okay. So today I want to focus on a few things. So the first thing I'm going to look at is, when does the market open and when does it close? Okay. So in Zambia, the markets, Lusaka Stock Exchange, this is a digital market. Actually, it's not really a physical market; it's a digital one. Especially if you're using the app, it's a digital market. So this market opens from 10 a.m. in the morning. So 10 hours. Then she has a good market. And then you have available for 14 hours. So this from 10 to 14 hours, or per 2 p.m. In that time, you minimum pass every day. People should trade within this short time. Okay? That's when you're allowed to trade, especially if you're not going to buy physically to brokers. You need to trade from between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is the only time you have to trade for that day. Okay? So someone would ask, so how do you buy shares if you have the app and you know the time when the app opens and closes? All right. So you just simply open the app, the app, which is the LUSE. It's called LUSE. It's a very beautiful app with good colors. Open it, and the first thing you do, you choose a company. Okay. It depends. So for you to choose a company, first of all, you have to do your own consultation, maybe ask some financial experts, also stock market experts. They can actually guide you, or yourself. You can just do more research by combining the knowledge from different countries or continents: America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Middle East. And then you can come up with concrete evidence and decide to buy. So you select a company. For example, you select Zanaco. Zanaco is my favorite, by the way, because I have seen Zanaco grow since 2018. I started following Zanaco up to today. So I've seen a lot of changes in that company. So it has always been my favorite. Okay, it is actually owned by, majority shareholding is actually government and some Egyptian, I think so. Yeah. So you choose the company of your choice, and then at the bottom you choose buy or sell. So in that app, when you open it, you see companies listed, and then at the bottom there you actually see two options where it says buy and the other one says sell. Okay. So if you and then if you choose one, it will bring another list after you choose a company, and then you say, first of all, you choose a buy option or sell option. So this time let's focus on buying option. So you choose buy option. It will bring another list of choices which says choose a broker. Okay, you choose a broker. The first option I'm gonna see. So you choose a broker. Who is a broker? A broker facilitates your buying of shares between you and a listed company through LUSE. So what a broker does is that he's a middleman who says, you own a 500 kwacha. You have a 500 kwacha. You cannot go straight to Luse or company amenegulisha mashare or the one which is selling shares and say nifuna kuma shares ya 500. I want shares of 500. No. So what you do, you go to this broker which is more smaller and they handle money between 500 physically and the 100 kwacha if you use the app. So if you use the app, you can even start as little as 10 kwacha to buy your first shares. But if you go physically to brokers, they can actually make you start as low as 500 kwacha to 1,000. It depends with your broker. Okay. Yeah. So now we are focusing on the online, which is the digital market. Here you can use a 10 kwacha, 50 kwacha, 100 kwacha to buy your shares. And the benefit for buying shares is that some company will give you dividends every year. Some of them is every after 6 months. It depends with the company. But they'll pay you dividends for actually having shares. Okay. So they will declare, for example, Zanaco declared that their dividend is 4.88, 0.488 per share dividend. Yeah, sorry about that. So what happens is that you are going to people from Chipangari are connected. Thank you very much. Nice to know that people from Chipangari are watching. Yes. So as we continue, so like I was saying that if you go physically to these brokers, they'll charge you minimum of 500. But if you go through the app, it's minimum 10, 20, 50, 100. And then when you buy shares in any of the company, you are entitled to actually earning dividend if the company you bought in is only for dividend. Next, in the next broadcast, I'm going to explain the difference between the company which pays dividends and those which do not pay. So for now, we are focusing on buying your shares. So now let's say you choose a company and then to take you to a broker. You choose a broker. There's a lot of brokers. There's Madison Insurance, there's Stockbroker Zambia, and there's Equity Resource Capital. All these Longhorn, a lot of them. So you choose one and then you make a order. Now, when making the last order, it's called post. If you finish filling in everything, you'll see an option called post. That's where you click. But before you do, you go to post. When you finish filling in other things, for example, a broker and the amount of shares you want to buy, equivalent to the amount of money you have. By the way, the app Luce can actually accept your Visa, can also accept your Airtel or MTN money to deposit money in that app for you to start trading. Okay? Yes, so you only trade between Monday and Friday. Other days, on the weekend, doesn't work. On public holidays, there's no trading. Thank you. Okay, you can trade daily basis. You can trade after 2 days, after 3 days. Yeah, and you can trade for a year. Okay. So now, when you're filling every information, now it will bring the type of order you want to place. Okay. So there's what is called number 1. It will say good till date, DTD. Okay. This simply means that this is option number 1. If you now filling everything, you're putting the money, you choose your broker, and you choose the company, and the amount of shares you want. You're going to face another list of options which says, what type of ordering of these shares do you want? So the first option is going to be good till day. This simply means if you choose this one, it means your order stays active until your chosen date. It simply means if you say, okay, I want to choose GTD, it simply means good till day, which means if I place this order today, if there's nobody who's offering these shares to buy in the market, make it go even up to 1 week. I'm going to wait for this order to actually be executed. Okay, and then option number 2 is going to be fill or kill. Okay, so this one simply says it fill or kill, or FOK or fork we might call it. It must be filled in completely, no partial. So this one, it simply means you want it to be done immediately, okay? Like not you fill in a bit, you just fill in completely and you finish everything. And then there's what is called day order. Day order simply means you buy today, you want to receive your shares today. There's no waiting for tomorrow, there's no immediately. You just want your shares today since you bought today. So these are some of the options you're going to see. Okay? Yeah. So another one, yeah. So like I said, those are some of the options, and make sure you just read more and consult. You know, Toulouse themselves, they're always active on their Facebook, they're on the website, they've got an email address, they can actually help you. So it is as easy as that. Don't stay home, start buying some assets. Okay, it doesn't take a lot for you to start owning a company bit by bit. But it's also another way of saving money. And you should know that shares are very powerful. If you've got the good shares, you can actually go to the bank and tell them, give me a loan, I've got these shares as my surety. they will not hesitate. They won't even ask you for more than that in terms of collateral. Shares are actually money. They are digital assets which can be converted to money through a loan because they can easily be sold. It's only 3 days. If you sell your shares today, in 3 days' time, you should be bought and they give you back your money. Okay, so you can use asset stock to get a loan if you want to get a loan. All right, so in other news on the Lusaka Stock Exchange, we're going to look at the performance and some news which came in. Okay, so there's a company. Okay, so there are a lot of, in the Lusaka Stock Exchange, there are 2 companies so far. Okay, the first one is Zambia Real Estate. Zambia Real Estate, it is a company which is focused or measured, okay? Yeah, well, which is an expert into real estate. Real estate is buildings, land and different things, okay? But mostly it's actually building. And they own a lot of building, including maybe arcades, Acacia, and many others, right? And they charge people rent. If you want a shop at arcade, they're the company which facilitates. So they are called Zambia Real Estate, okay? Which is REIZ, okay? Now, there's a new company, it's called One Square Residential Real Estate Company. This one is going to come on the Luse market very soon. So start keeping some money. Mostly when a company is about to be listed, their shares are very low in terms of prices. For example, we had a insurance company which actually came on the listing a month ago and asked me how much it was selling per share. Up to now, it is actually still selling at 0.35 ingwe per share. You can buy a lot, and you see after some time, this company is actually increasing in terms of share prices. So save some money. This company is coming up. It's a real estate, second real estate company, which is coming on the Luce, and this one is more focused on the residential. The real estate company which is there, the already existing, is focused more on the commercial properties, but this one is going to focus more on manyumba yonkalamu bantu, or those houses which people rent for staying in, for living in. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So now, very soon I'll be finishing. Let's look at the performance. So on the first day of April this week, which was Monday, I think, there were 0 gains, but the market lost value by 0.7. 0.7%, this simply means the entire index, the entire market. If you calculate the average, it lost value by 0.7. This happens because of many factors, and one of them is that we are heading toward elections, so people don't know for sure what kind of outcome will happen. Are we going to have peaceful elections? Are we going to have peace after elections? So these are some of the factors which is contributing to this a lot of changes and the volatility in the market. All right. So on the 21, which should be Tuesday, okay. So real estate announced their dividend. They are going to be real estate, by the way, is the only company in Zambia which is listed and the sales and gives dividend in dollars. All right. Yeah. There's actually a company which sells shares in dollars, and their dividend, they give it in dollars. Yeah, so this year, the US state Zambia is announced that they are going to give 0.00449 cents per share. Okay, so if you've got shares in that company, they're going to give you so much dollars, and then you can convert it to Zambian kwacha if you want, and you have some money. Yes, so SAEC High Mining also, they're going to give a dividend this year, and they said it was 0.65 per share. Zanaco, which is this week on the 21st also, gained by 0.1%, and then in the list, while lead, okay, lead means they fell, okay, they were not on demand, people didn't buy so much, they did not gain, okay. So on Wednesday and Thursday, okay, markets gained by Puma Energy has been losing a lot. I don't know. This time a miracle is happening. It gained by 0.63%, and Zanaco 0.1 again. Zanaco has been a little bit consistent. Chilanga by 0.56. Chilanga is one of the companies which is doing well, but lately it's been losing. I think people are selling. When the market actually is overbought, the next thing is a fall. All right. Yeah. So what should we expect next? The fall will continue. A lot of things. A lot of markets will be led as we heading toward elections. Also, the wars in the Middle East contributing one or another. So expect some falls in these markets, but they will rebound after the elections. Probably by the end of this year, in around December, November, you'll see a lot of companies gaining massively, and don't miss out. This might be your opportunity to create wealth. This might be opportunity to actually run a company in real time. So this has been JMK, your son, your brother, your friend, your fellow Zambian. Yeah, and this is the end of my podcast. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope to see you again on coming Friday next week. And we're going to talk more about the difference between buying shares which give dividends and those which do not give. So see you then. Thank you very much for staying with me, and I hope to see you again soon on Friday. Bye bye.